Today I'm going to talk about helping verbs. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, and then I'm going to describe what they are. There's about 23 of them. They're sometimes called auxiliary verbs. I'm going to bore you for a few minutes with the facts about them, but if you can hold tight, then I'll get to some more fun stuff like singing a song, because auditory I feel is important, and then I'll also play a game on the iPad to learn about helping words, because I think that the visual and tactile touch is important as well. So basically, in most cases, words and sentences need a little help in order to make the intended meaning crystal clear. Verbs are no exceptions. Luckily, there are helping verbs to stand up and do just that. Let's take a closer look at helping verbs. Just as the name implies, helping verbs which are sometimes called auxiliary verbs, they help out the main verb in a sentence. They accomplish this by giving more detail to how time is portrayed in a sentence. For this reason, they are used in verb conjugation to show the progressive and the perfect tenses of verbs. On their own, helping verbs don't show meaning in that they don't communicate much when they stand alone. Their sole purpose is to help the main verb, which provides the real meaning. Helping verbs explain the sometimes complicated nuances of meaning. For example, they can show expectation, probability, obligation, potential, and directions. Though this may sound complicated, it's really not. There are some following examples that will help to make this more clear. There are primary helping verbs, which are be, which is the to be verbs. These are am, is, are, was, were, been, being, and be. Some examples in a sentence would be Katie is watching television. That shows a present continuous tense. And the other children were playing outside. This example shows the past continuous tense. Another example is have. This helping verb is used to make perfect tenses. It shows that the action has already been completed. For example, I have finished washing the dishes, or dishwashing is complete. That's what that means. Next is the do verb. The verb do can make negatives. I do not care for broccoli. To ask questions, do you like broccoli? To show emphasis, I do want you to eat your broccoli. To stand for a main verb, Sam likes broccoli more than Carmen does. There are also modal helping verbs. Modal helping verbs help modify the main verb so that it changes the meaning somewhat. They help express possibility or necessity. The modal verbs are, number one, can and could. For example, I can't reach the top shelf. I'm short, so my husband has to come and help me get things down all the time. You could try using a step ladder, but then I'd have to go buy one, so I have him come in the kitchen and do that for me. Number two is may and might. The bus may arrive on time this morning. It might be full of rowdy passengers, though. Number three, will and would. Will Katie ride with James to soccer practice? Would she prefer to ride with Emily instead? 4 is shall or should. Shall I set the table now? You should wait a little longer. And the last one is must. You really must see a doctor about that nasty cut. A few points to remember about helping verbs are that not every sentence has or needs a helping verb. Anytime you see a verb ending in ing, a helping verb usually accompanies it. Sometimes other words separate the helping verb and main verb in the sentence. The word not is an example. Sarah couldn't run as fast as Beth. Here, the word not separates the helping verb could from the main verb run. Helping verbs are used in everyday English language, and figuring out how to recognize them and when to use them will become second nature after a while. So I want to teach you a song. It's sung to the tune of Jingle Bells. It's called the helping verb song. So it goes, helping verbs, there are 23. Am, is, are, was, and were, being, been, and be. Have, has, had, do, does, did. Shall, should, will, and would. There are 5 more helping verbs, may, might, must, can, could. So if you could learn that jingle, it would really help when you're working on your helping verbs. So let's try it again. Helping verbs, there are 23. Am, is, are, was, and were. Being, been, and be. Have, has, had, do, does, did. Shall, should, will, and would. There are 5 more helping verbs. May, might, must, can, could. Good job. So next I would like to play a game on the iPad, which will help the tactile and the visual, and there's also background noise, so that will help teach us how to do helping verbs. So, the game that I am using for this activity is called Grammar Wonderland. It's by McGraw-Hill, and it's actually pretty fun. This is my student Mike, and he is learning helping verbs today. So we're gonna go to practice skills, and we're gonna go to verbs, and I'm gonna see how Mike's level is on the helping verbs to start with, and if it's a little bit too difficult, we can go all the way back to easy or medium, and if it's way too easy for him, we could go to expert. So then I'm gonna go all the way over here until I find helping verbs. There they are. So it says how to play. First, you're going to swipe the little food container to feed the bear, and if it's correct, the dispenser will go away, and then the bear gets to eat his food, and then everybody's happy. So it says Kelly and Chris were cooking in the kitchen. So I'm going to ask Mike to tell me which one of these is the helping verb.
Were.
So swipe it. And I took too long on that one. So the next one is Bill and Tracy were riding their bikes. And Mike chose were, and he is correct, and the bear got to eat. Sandra and Pete are standing in line. Mike chose the word are, and he got it right. They are hoping to get a kitten. Can you say the word out loud?
Are.
And he got that one right. The robin is searching for food.
Is.
Correct. Amy said we will run tomorrow morning.
Will.
Correct. Now, if this one's too hard for you, let me know. Andrea is answering a question.
Is.
Oh, he got it wrong. Oops. So he got a 5 out of 9. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult to learn helping verbs. So we're gonna go back and we can practice again. What's nice about this game is it has the different levels. So we can go down to easy, and we can even choose helping verbs 2, which does the different tenses of the verbs. I want this one. Helping verbs 2. And same rules. This one we're gonna flip the correct container into her basket. It says, in class we blank reading a book about people in history. We are. And I missed. Molly blank feed her baby sister. Molly will. So now I will let Mike try it.
Jose blank packed his suitcase for his vacation. Has. Wrong.
No, that was right, but you missed the container.
I blank walked to school by myself. Have. Miss Davis blank driving to her friend's house. Was. Correct. A blank played a game of hide and seek before dinner. Had. I blank shopping for a new chair. Am.
One more.
Jim and Karen blank danced in a dance contest. Have.
Oh, now it's the last one.
The runners blank training for the race. Were.
So now that he has filled up he got most of them right. So now look what gets to happen. Pretty cool. So that is my lesson on helping verbs, and I hope that you learned from it, and thanks for listening.